Welcome to another episode of Breaking Bank, sponsored by Liberty Aid, libertyaid.org. And we're there to help you hack the money system, really. Get out of your personal debt, get other credit through your business, get a trust which is not taxable, and so on. Uh, Basically, if you're in an acute situation, mortgage, foreclosure, student loan problems, this, that, and the other thing. We're here to help you fix your acute problem, but also we have the tools to help you move over away from that personal credit and get other credit easily. And I proved that I've done it. Watch the recent video about that. Okay. Okay. Now we have another question, another Q and A. Okay. And this question is, can you? I'm gonna read it. Can you make a video on court presentation, procedure, and the most common court questions you get, and how to answer them correctly to win? Okay, let's do a little bit of that. First of all, um, I don't go anywhere but small claims. I'm an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. Small claims is just made for anyone to be able to go down, fill one piece of paper out, and then you can initiate a lawsuit. And they also have a form for waiver of the fees called different names in different places, and I go into the indigent person and how that can benefit you. In other words, sue for free. It's legal to do so. I just did it 20 times, and all the judges in Sarasota County got together to try and overcome that I had done that completely legally, and they hadn't overcome it. It's their form, and I fit, you know, that perfectly. So that's one form, the indigent form. If you want to use that, the judge did ask me one question about that, which stopped all of the questions basically. And she said, "Well, how do you live?" And I was like, "No." She said, "How are all?" She did ask a couple questions. My bad. She asked, um, "Why is it all zeros on the form?" I'm like, "Because." And I answered her in court. She said, "Raise your right hand." That whole thing, right? So I answered correctly, legally, truthfully. I've taken a vow of poverty and entrusted everything to Jesus Christ. So, a trust is under the name of Jesus Christ that we have, and so that's legally, and I finished by saying, as is my religious freedom to do so. And so that just, you use the religious freedom thing to block everything, and it's true, take no income to the person, I don't operate it, so it's that simple. So that's the main thing on that form, and follow that. She also said, "Well, how do you live?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I breathe in and out. What do you, you know, how do you do things?" I was like, "Well, that's up to God." And like somebody, gave me a ride today. That's why I got here. I mean, what are you asking questions about that for? So they pretty much stopped right there about that because, you know, it's what the Templars did. They created trusts and banking, and their full name of the Templars was the Poor, Poor, right? The Poor Knights of the Temple of Solomon. They entrusted everything to God too, so that's legal to do. They invented banking, and so you put it in a trust, and you own nothing. That's legal to do. You own nothing. You own nothing anyway. Your person owns something, but even to them, your person owns nothing. So, and the person's tied to an individual, so you get away from that and just leave it over there. Don't use it. Okay, so then the next sort of court thing to discuss is a form for small claims. I'm just telling you what a clerk of court is going to tell you, by the way. They can tell you these things, and they don't give legal advice. Neither do I. They just tell you how to fill out a form. I'm just telling you, this is what's down at the courthouse. Each county in each state has a one-page form to file for a small claims case, and you can read it and their instruction with it that are free. And if you have any questions on the instructions, you just ask the clerk of court for free. They're sitting there all day, every day, 9 to 5, usually. So those are my instructions at court. They have people to answer questions down there. I just ask them. What I can't tell you. Those are two forms you fill out. That's how I fill them out in my favor, and so I just meet the qualifications to fill out the forms that way. So the debt removal package goes into what to put in the boxes of the form to remove a debt for the small claims. So that's handled, and then okay, so that's the forms. Then it's like, what do you want to talk about? What do you talk about in court? Okay, well, I mean, it's kind of already figured out, honestly. Um, you, you you wrote down all your claim and everything. That's what you do before you go into court. You had to write something on that claim form for small claims, so that's what you're talking about. What you put in your form. So they're gonna say, well, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? On the things you put on the form. So they're gonna ask you questions. So you gotta know what you wrote down. So you answer the question, whatever it is. So the only reason you're going to court, honestly, there's one reason, right? The other party didn't show you the original documents that prove the debt. That's the only reason you're in there. You shouldn't be asking about much else, really. They say they have a copy of it. Okay, Your Honor. You know, where's the original? If you have a copy, so you can't have a copy without the original next to it. They have to be side by side, or it's not a copy of anything. It's a forgery or counterfeit, okay? So you're only always asking about it. They're like, well, did you do this? Did you get this loan? Did you? Did you get all these questions? Like, well, that's not actually relevant because you're talking about chain of title to the title of documents, right? Where's the document? We haven't gotten. See, they always want to talk about everything, but the only reason you're there. Where's the paperwork? Where's the proof? So they want you, by your own words, to say you did this, you did that. That's not relevant. In fact, I don't even remember. Who cares? It doesn't matter. You buy and sell debt all day, every day, all day long. I'm just asking, do you still have the paperwork? Even if I did or didn't, whatever, that doesn't matter. We'll talk about how you got a hold of the original documents when you produce them. You see, where's the document? Where's the document? Where's the document? Where's my signature on something that says, hey, you can collect this money? Where is it? Where's this signed contract we have that says you can collect? Because you don't have that. Someone else has it. Or it doesn't exist. Or it never existed. And that's just a forgery. What is that thing? Do you understand? We're only there for one reason. Everything else is side issues and whatever. It doesn't even matter. So it kind of, you just have a lot of questions. You're asking them questions. Where's the document? What does this mean? And so on. So Thomas Schaff, Schauf, wrote Secret Banker's Manual. It's a good read. You'll find it on a PDF out there. He's a shill, but he's a good accountant. He says the solution is voting, which is, of course, voting is a hoax, so that's hilarious. But he's good on showing you kind of the scam they're running through the money system. It's a good read, but he doesn't have solutions. Okay, but he does have another 2-volume set, which aren't even named. They both have dissimilar names. But he only has 3 books out there. So if you look up his second volume of his second book, basically, it has 600 questions in there to ask in court. Looking for documents. He's kind of focused on the mortgage, but more than half of the questions still apply to any debt. So if you want to know what to ask about the other party in a trial, that's what you ask about. That's what I would be asking about, those kind of questions. So, I'm not... I can't give legal advice, so I can't tell you, what to do, but I can give you, accounting information. I'm an accountant, and the clerk of court, to be honest with you, once you understand that small claims is set up on purpose so anyone can go down there and sue for free real easy, Okay? So you don't even need, like, the question is good because the answer to the question is you don't really need my expertise. They have it already down there. They have, like, pamphlets. How do you fill out a small claims form? You know, things like that. Like, it's really easy, okay? It's not, I picked the most affordable, pretty free to me all the time, way to handle this. Like, of course, it costs money to print things out and mail them, but that's about it. Those are my only expenses for the methods I use. So, um, I hope that explains it. You see what's happening is you're the court isn't really winning a court is a hoax. It's never happened. Nobody's ever won a court. That just they don't let that not ever ever happen. No one wins a court. Never. See what happens is your position is so strong, your paperwork, everything you have is so much stronger. They don't want to talk about it in court because this is one they might have to let win, and they're not gonna let anything win. Or they might have to break so many rules. They open themselves up for a lot of problems afterwards. Okay? And so, because what you're going to end up doing or start out doing is really everything's set up to threaten their assets and their revenue stream, right? And to, increase their expenses, right? Those are the three things we're looking to do. They have assets in their name. Notice the link can go on that. It's not court, but I'm just saying. You see, you go after their assets, right? Through the process we have. And then also, you go after their revenue and their expenses. You go after their expenses by increasing their expenses, making them pay a lot for lawyers to go to court for you, and it costs you nothing. Okay, and then you reduce their revenue. You can go after bar cards and so on of the lawyers and so on, whoever stands against you. You see, so enforcement's the key. Letters do nothing unless they know they're letters coming from someone who will enforce them, because these letters are set up perfectly properly. So really, you can enforce the way they try and enforce. The items we have at Liberty Aid. It's all set up so you can be as difficult on their lives as they are collecting a mortgage and so on. On them with the same methods. Okay, similar methods or the same methods are all legal, right? Okay. I hope that went over a little bit of your question. It was a little bit long-winded. I'm trying to get away from long-winded, but that was kind of a broad topic. So I covered a lot of generalities and specifics. Thank you for the question. Rate your questions too. Contact at libertyaid.org and I'll get to your questions. Thanks for the support. So many people are doing so many good things out there, saving their homes and getting credit, and really pretty much, whatever your goals are, you can achieve them when we have the skills, that you're lacking to make that happen using the banker's money. What could be better? All right? All right, join us. libertyaid.org. God bless your success.